What's going on, everybody? This is Shane Thomas, ready to show you another country classic on the acoustic guitar. This time, in this video, we are going to learn The Dance by Garth Brooks. Probably is Garth's signature song, most famous song. It's right up there if it isn't. And this, what can you say about this song that hadn't been said already? It's a phenomenal song that's worldwide, known worldwide, and it's just a powerful song with multiple meanings, and it's got a very important message, and it's just a powerful song. And I can't wait to show y'all and show you how to play it. We just have about 4 or 5 chords to learn for this song, and we'll be ready to go, and you'll have this modern country classic in your arsenal, your catalog. Whew, gives me chills just playing that little thing right there. So before we get going though, if you want to learn how to play the acoustic guitar and learn a bunch of country classic songs on the acoustic guitar, I'd appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you can get all the latest guitar tutorials and lessons as soon as I publish them. All right, The Dance came out in 1990 off the self-titled album, Garth Brooks. It was the 4th single from that album, and this song, The Dance, reached #1 for 3 weeks. But it's been in our memories, in our lives ever since 1990. So it doesn't necessarily mean you got to reach the top or stay at the top of the charts for this song to endure, and it certainly has. It's in the key of G. So let's learn the chord G. Basically, right here on the 3rd fret, 6th string, put that ring finger or 2nd finger, depends on how you play it. Check your chord diagrams there. As long as you put some kind of finger on the 6th string, 3rd fret, put a finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, play the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings open, and put a finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So strum all 6 strings. Now, I just want to say, I think I forgot to mention that this song was written by Garth Brooks, co-written by Garth Brooks and Tony Arata, I believe how you say his name, but Tony is a well-known songwriter, wrote a bunch of songs for a lot of country artists. Holding My Own by Leroy Parnell, wrote for Patty Loveless. So it's just, I love telling people about these songwriters, because Garth, sure, he helped write this song, and then he's the performer, but there's plenty of talented songwriters behind the scenes creating these wonderful songs that we know so well. All right, so back to the song. G. Our next chord is C. So basically, put your 1st finger on the 2nd string, 1st fret, play the 1st string open. Now skip a string, put your middle finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and your ring finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret. Play 5th string on down. Now the intro, you're going to learn 3 chords, and those 3 chords are going to be predominant throughout the whole entire song. But this little riff, if you want to call it a riff or chord progression, is important, because the intro, after the piano plays, you hear the guitar. All right, so what that is basically just kind of going down, picking each string. And the 1st chord is G to C. So it's basically pick every string on that G chord, then strum the C chord, back to G. Now we're going to learn a new chord, the D chord. The D chord is middle finger on the first string, second fret, skip a string, put your first finger on the third string, 2nd fret. Put your ring finger right there on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. Play your 4th string on down. So we're still on the intro, but bear with me. If we get this intro, we're going to get a lot of the song. So G, C, G, C, G. Now new chord D, real quick, D to C to G. Now some people will play the intro like this. I'll show you a couple of ways to play it. It's up to you, it's your preference. There's no right or wrong, just as long as it kind of sounds similar to people know what you're playing. So one way is what I just showed you. So G chord to C, G chord to C, G chord to D, C, G. Another way is keep your ring finger on the top string of the 3rd fret, that G, and you just simply, so that's the G, you simply move these 2 fingers down. This is like you're playing part of the C, but back. So basically I don't drop my ring finger down on the C note here on the 5th string. I keep it there. So it's basically then D. Now another way I've seen people do it, and you know, you might get, I'm sure Garth plays it all kinds of ways because he gets tired of probably playing the same chords over and over. But I've seen people do this. Instead of the D here, you just basically almost like make a C chord right here starting at the 3rd fret. So the 3rd, 4th, and 5th fret. Same finger positions. You just move up the frets like that. Just real quick. So it's however way you want to do it. We're going to keep it simple. When y'all get plenty of practice in, you fool around with the different ways, then you'll have your choice of which way you want to do it. So let's stick with G, C, G, C, G, D, C, G. That's the intro. Here's the first verse. So basically song structure, verse 1 or intro. Verse 1, chorus. Verse 2, chorus, repeat chorus. That's it. That's a classic country song that's going to live a long, long, long time from now, impacting people's lives. All right, so intro. Now let's go to the verse. Looking back, G. Just like you're doing the intro, on the memory of C. D, the dance we shared, neath the sea to G. D, for a moment, so G, for a moment, all the world was right. C, how could I have known, D, that you see, D. All right, so there's a lot of variations of when those chords are coming in. That's why it's so important to check those diagrams of the chord changes. So basically, looking back, G, C, so almost like the intro, on the memory of C. D, the dance we shared, neath the stars at sea. Back to G. D, real quick, for a moment, all the world was right. C, how could I have known, D, that you'd ever say goodbye. So D to C, back to D. Now we go into chorus. Now, some of you might be wondering about strumming pattern. It's not really strumming in this song. I mean, I guess you could strum along to it if you want, but get good at just plucking. So a lot of downstrokes. Basically, the whole song is downstrokes. So now we are in the chorus section of the song. So we just ended. How could I have, how could you, what is it? How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? Now we're in the chorus. And now, I'm glad I didn't see no D. The way that it all would end, the way it all would go. All right, so what that is I basically chorus, and now I'm glad I didn't know D, so C to D. Now B minor right there. So B minor is basically right here on the 2nd fret. You press down on all the strings besides the 6th string. Then put your middle finger on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Put your ring finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret. And your ring finger on the 4th fret, 3rd string. So now we got it. And now I'm glad I didn't know D. The way it all would end. New chord, B minor. The way it all would go. C to D. Our lives are better left to chance. Could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance. All right, so basically again, chorus is quickly C. Glad I didn't know D. The way it all would end. B minor. The way it all would go. C to D. And now back to C. D. Could have missed the pain. B minor. But I'd have had to miss C, the dance. So D to G. And you just do like the intro. C, G, D, C, G. Holding you. So we're going to go with verse 2. Now, I'm neglected to add the E minor. There's a real quick E minor in the verses. So in the first verse, basically the lyric is, so basically let's start like this from the top. For a moment, all the world was right. How could I have known, D, that you'd ever, so I neglected to tell y'all this one, E minor on that ever say goodbye, leading up to the chorus. So that's an E minor, very easy chord. You want to put your couple fingers or one finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th and 5th string. That you'd ever say goodbye, D. Now we can go to the chorus, to C. I'm glad I didn't know. All right, so there's our chorus. So basically, intro is C, G, or I got it backwards. G, C, G, C, G, D, C, G. The first verse, you're going to have almost like the intro was, but just basically a bunch of G's and C's and D's, and then ever say goodbye. Chorus is C, D, B minor, C, D, C, D. Could have missed the pain, B minor, but I'd have had to miss C, D, G. Just like the intro, C or G to C, then D, C, G. Verse 2, holding you. I held everything, C, for a moment. D, wasn't I, C, a king? D, if I'd only known. G, how the king. C, D. Now here we go. I might have, so right there at I might have changed it all is that E minor again. I might have changed it all. Repeat chorus. C, I'm glad I didn't know. D, the way it all would end. B minor, the way it all would go. C, D, our lives are better left to chance. D, I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss. C, the D, dance. Yes, our lives, just kind of repeat the chorus again. Yes, our lives are better left to chance. D, I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the D to G. Just like the intro. You basically end the song like you began it. A couple things about this song real quick before we end it. The strumming pattern is virtually non-existent. It's basically picking. You know, I guess you could strum, but it's totally up to you. But whether or not you strum it or pick it individually, each string individually. Basically 4 chords, C, G, D, B minor, and E minor. You just have a few sections, and there's different ways to do it. But the main thing is get those 4 chords, play them however you like, whether you strum it, whether you pick it. If you want to sound like the record, then probably give more preference to picking it, each string. And last but not least, the message is so important. Don't be afraid to get out there and live your lives. Take chances. Don't be afraid to love somebody. Go for that one job you think you might love or a business you might start. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to take some chances, take some risks, some risk. And that's the meaning of the song. Don't be afraid to really live your life. And if you fall down, so what? You could have missed the pain, but you would have had to miss the dance. So get your dancing shoes on, get out there on the dance floor. Because I always tell people a life of failures is a lot better than a life of regret. So make sure you get out there and you try some things, and if you fail, so what? It's better than looking back on your life being like, gosh, I wish I would have done this or did that. I would have been good at that, or I should have asked her out or him out. Go ahead and try it. See what happens. You might be surprised. So you would have missed the pain, but you would have had to miss the dance. A wonderful song, wonderful message in the song. Now, speaking of songs, if you have any requests of songs you want to learn, go ahead and leave them in the comments section below. Go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so I can show you whatever song you might be interested in learning. Until next time, keep strumming and humming, everybody. I'm Shane Thomas. Take care.